Then, Kwankwaso were at Chatham House to speak on issues concerning these elections, just like every other candidate does. So take your time, listen to Kwankwaso answers to questions. Look, listen to their questions and listen to Kwankwaso answer to those questions. Yeah, just take your time.
You made mention of the various things that you intend to do. One of the areas was the economic revamping. And in your manifesto, you speak of that being in three parts: the ERP, economic stimulation, and you also speak about job creation and so on. And my question to you is this. Given that Nigerians are renowned for setting up businesses, small business owners, and creating so much within that space, what are your plans to work with the African Free Trade Agreement to be able to expand opportunities for Nigerians, because that's a 1.2 billion market, and Nigerians as small business owners could benefit a great deal. We would like to know, sir, what you will do to help them, not only financially, because we know that our financial sector is terrible for business owners. Banks, the loans that are provided are terrible. So please, can you expand on that, what you will do for business owners in Nigeria? Thank you.
Senator Kwankwaso, thank you for a very detailed presentation. Let me start by saying your other leading candidates also have brilliant ideas in their manifesto. And we do know that politicians have weaponized poverty in our country. And the prediction is that those with the deepest pockets will win the election. Having said that, I recognize the fact that your party is hoping to build a new Nigeria. And the question to ask of the four leading candidates, the issue here is trust. The issue is character. You must have had issues like people mopping up PVCs in opposition's stronghold. You would have also been aware of videos circulating on the internet. We have the Atiku Gate, we have allegation of some others into narcotics and all that. So the issue is character. If you are the receiving end of these allegations, or to be seen to be one of those who are peddling and also involved in what it's now known as Atiku Gate, what would you do? And what would be your advice to your competitors who are involved?
Thank you very much. I'm going to we have quite a few questions coming in.
To elaborate based on legacy, what you did to young people and what you intend to do. I want you to link it with your legacy, because we need to know what you did so that we may have more confidence on you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And okay, the lady right at...
Let me thank you for mentioning this issue of money, deep pockets. I believe that 2023 election is going to be slightly different, in the sense that everybody is suffering. Everybody has seen the consequences of collecting money. That is on one hand. On the other hand, these people with deep pockets have made people so poor to the extent that even good food, hot meal, is enough to make them crazy. That's the talakawas, the poor people. But I have gone around the country. I have only one state now to visit in the south. Otherwise, I went there 3, 4, 5 times by road, going towards local governments and so on. So I believe that people, the masses of Nigeria, are very committed. Our fear now is more of INEC and other stakeholders, because we have seen what happened in the past. And most of these issues are centered around the villa and the president, not necessarily this president, the ones before inclusive. And as long as the center, the leadership in Abuja will convince themselves to allow the people to go and vote, I have no doubt in my mind we are going to have free, fair, and credible election. And for me, I have not seen any reason why General Buhari will not allow that to happen, because probably it's one of the only or few legacies that he will leave behind. He has been the biggest beneficiary. When we were promoting him in 2015, we were in opposition. Many things happened, and he became president. Despite the fact that he had experience on the other side when he had issues with the stakeholders in conducting election. So we believe that this election is going to be different. And I believe that we'll continue to talk to the people. And the issue of character and trust is very important. And that is our strength. I have been a civil servant for 17 years before joining politics, now 30 years. And I'm happy. I'm still standing here talking to you. And I think that's the best anybody can think of doing. That's the best anywhere, even in this country. To stand in the field for almost how many decades now? If you like 3 or 5 decades, and you are still your integrity is still solid. And I am not sure if there is anybody who can stand up among the leading candidates, or even all the candidates, and say the same. If you say you'll fight corruption, or you'll fight drugs, you'll fight this, you'll fight that, you can't give what you don't have. And people can come and say whatever here for either local or international audience. But the fact remains, our records are there. And if you don't know, I don't know whether in politics, but anybody in politics will tell you that if you don't know what your grandmother has done before you are born, join politics. They will tell you what she has done. So we are so happy about that. The wanting, I'm so happy I'm not being found wanting. So far, so good. And we have seen the advantage of that. We can only do better in the future. Even those who found themselves in the trap in terms of corruption, in terms of drugs, in terms of all sorts of things, probably given the chance again, they will do it differently. But I'm so happy that right from those days, we stood on the side of the truth. So I have not been found wanting. This question should go to those who are found wanting to answer. The issue of military, the issue of security, I think that's my biggest strength. I have been the Minister of Defense and advisor to President on Darfur and Somalia for 4 years during Obasanjo regime. And during that time, we are not even talking of Nigeria. We are talking of what was happening in other parts of Africa because we are concerned. And that's why our military were in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Darfur. I visited them many times. I had discussions with the leaders in those countries. The confidence that they had in Nigerian military was unbelievable. And so also in Nigeria, these are people who are well committed, professionals, well feared by the opponents or enemies. And these are the military that we are talking of bringing back. Now we don't even know. I don't know. I belong to the expanded family of military. I don't know what is happening in Nigeria now. But all I know is everything will revolve around what we call political will. If there is no political will, nothing will work. And I think that's what is affecting our young men and women in the military today. So as former Minister of Defense, Chief Security Officer in Kano, I was in the NDDC. In fact, I left NDDC because of corruption. So many things were happening. I told the President at that time he was not happy. Later he realized NDDC was in a mess. And unless something is done, they will continue to do so. And in Nigeria, we have to have the reward system and even punishment system. Now everything goes now. If you take, nobody will call you. In Kano, when I was in government, nobody, I can tell you, will go out there and touch 1 naira. And that's why for 8 years I was governor. I'm so happy that for those 8 years we did not borrow 1 kobo, 1 naira we did not borrow. All what I did in Kano was done with the state resources. And that's why some people, when they hear I will do 500,000 classrooms, say where I will get the money. Don't forget, right as we are sitting or standing here, instead of 2.2 million barrels of oil, we are producing just 1 million, 1.2, 1.1. Where are the remaining? Stolen by some people. Where are the people? Who are the people? And that's why we have to stop that. The fighting in south, northwest, even in northeast, is mainly because of mineral resources. People are stealing it from Nigeria and from outside Nigeria. You will only see helicopters picking gold and other resources. That got to stop. All these assets must be taken over by government and be utilized for all of us. And that is what we stand for in Nigeria. So the young men and women, I can assure you, and I'm sure you know it, the gentleman who asked that question, I'm sure he knows, because our biggest support is from the young men and women. In Kano, we took education seriously. 2 years before I left government, there was nobody in Kano who had university qualification that did not go to university. In fact, our universities, 2 universities, I don't want to use we established. We're not even getting students from Kano. And our agenda, unlike what people were insinuating here, was Kano residents, not Kano indigenous. There are so many people who benefited from southeast, southwest, south-south. When I went southeast now, I brought so many people, Igbo, who don't even speak Hausa, but they are all over the world under our scholarship. Because your home is where you live, is not where you necessarily born. And I am happy to say I started politics from being Deputy Speaker House of Reps in 1992. I was not a local government chairman. I was not a champion. I was at national level. I was not even minority or majority leader. Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, who was a presiding officer of that house. So that's how I started. And along the line, I had all opportunities to be everywhere in the country. And what is important for everybody to learn, including my colleagues, the candidates, is you should try at any given position to be upright. You shouldn't not be found wanting. And once you are found wanting in countries where they have shame, you don't even come out. You don't mention. So, and you see, politics is not all about making noise. Yes, you are a governor. You are a governor in the corner of a country. That's fine. We have been in the center for many years. Even if I'm not contesting, we want to know that person and say, yes, this is the person that believes in what we believe. Now there are many question marks on some candidates, whether they believe in the country or they believe in seceding from the country. And these are issues in the debates that must come out, and people must come and assure people that this is where they belong. So finally, the lady asked about the economic revamping, helping businessmen and women. This is very critical. You see, in all the countries, you find government subsidizing and supporting people's businesses and so on and so forth, in terms of education, in terms of training and retraining in their respective areas, and of course in providing capital at a minimum interest, minimum. It's not like where we have in Nigeria 30% to whatever percent. That's not acceptable. So we have to do whatever it takes to support our young men and women. And that's exactly what we did in Kano. We established 26 institutes in just 4 years. And one of them is to train this entrepreneurship, to train them, to give them support. That was why part of the institutes we had was the institute of those who handle those who found themselves in drugs. We take them there. After 3 months, we arrange for them to continue their education or train them in carpentry or welding or whatever they want to do. And then government was rich enough to give them capital even free of charge. We have done that many times and so on and so forth. So our policy is centered on the Nigerians themselves. And I want to underline the fact that ours in the NNPP It's not based on ethnicity. It's not based on religion. It's not based in the north and south, even though our strength is in the north, simply because they know us. In the south, to me, we are like living in two countries. Many of the things that we have done in the north, you go to the south, people know close to nothing, and vice versa. And what our duty now is to tell them who we are. And that's why we are working very hard. That's why anytime we have an opportunity to go for debate or a town hall meeting, we go. But you know, many of them are running away. The last one was cancelled just a day before we left by channels and BBC. They aborted it because they don't have anything to say. Thank you very much.